What's up, guys? Tomahawk here, and welcome back to the Cube Evolution. In the previous episode, we showed off a mana bean farm, among other things, but now it is the month of the spookiness. It is the month of the pumpkin. It is Halloween month. That means it is October. And in celebration of it being October and the fact that the Cube Evolution is most likely going to be restarted soon because of us evolving and getting new mods and also being moved to 1.7.2 or whatever. I don't even know what's going on with that sort of thing. It's not my job to know what's going on. Just my job to make videos and be entertaining or whatever. But anyway, in celebration of all that kind of stuff, this episode is going to be where we explore the magic of a special mod. A mod that is considered taboo amongst many. A mod that makes my phone go off in the middle of a recording every single day. You guys were wondering if it was going to happen. Yes, it is going to happen because it just happened. Anyway, the mod that we will be exploring in this episode is the one magical, mystical mod known as blood magic. And you may be wondering what blood magic is. Well, this is the intro part of the video where we don't explain the mods, we just kind of introduce what's going on in this episode. Anyway, without further ado, let's get on into this creepy episode of the Cube Evolution. Alrighty then, so as has been told by the introduction of this video, we need to start getting into blood magic, and thankfully for myself, I went and did a little bit of research and actually understand how this mod works, at least a little bit, the beginning part, and then after that it kind of spirals out into this huge thing that I don't really understand. But don't worry, we're getting the basics done in this episode, we know what we're doing, and we will understand blood magic as the beginning thing. So, phone, I'm not going to even pay attention to him right now. Okay, so the first thing we need to make is this thing. It's called a sacrificial knife, I think. A sacrificial knife. So basically we need some iron, some gold, and some glass. I don't have any iron in my inventory, but good news is I have some in this chest down here. So here we go. I'm going to go like this. I think it's like that, and then we go ahead and put glass all along like that. There we go. We got ourselves a little sacrificial knife. Then the other thing we need to make is this thing. Oops, I accidentally went into the weird item mode. Okay, so we need is a blood altar. Right, so we need a blood altar, and let me just do that. So the blood altar is made by stone, furnace, and gold ingots and a diamond. That's very easy to make. Thankfully, I had all the items on my inventory beforehand. I don't know, it was just some magic luck that I was able to have that. It's not like I looked up the recipe before this started or anything. Anyway, so we got ourselves a blood altar, and we are going to go ahead and exit out of this, and go ahead and fly on over to the nearby surrounding area, and have this thing placed down, I guess, somewhere in the middle, or at least what I think is the middle. I'm going to assume that that block right there is the middle. And so we have this thing, it's called the blood altar, and basically what this blood altar does is if I'm nearby, and there's this thing, this sacrificial knife, if I right-click with it, let me just get kind of far away from this thing, from the blood altar for a second. So, see, it takes a heart of damage from me. And so what I do is if I'm nearby the blood altar, and I right-click, like this, you can see that blood goes into it like this. And so what I can do is I can spam this thing a couple of times and take myself lots of hearts of damage. For some reason, it's not making the noise that I'm taking damage or something, but I don't even know what's going on there. But anyway, so we have the damage being done to me like that, and then this thing fills up with some amount of blood, and then so some of it gets like pumped into the bottom and some of it's still left at the top. But the point is this thing has like a capacity of like, I don't even know how much blood. It's like, because each blood has like so much life points, I think, and then blood per right click with this thing, it adds 200 life points into the machine, and this machine can hold like, or this altar can hold I think it's 10,000. So what I can do with this is I can go ahead and take a diamond that I have in my inventory and right click it like that, and then what it'll do is it'll start spinning around in circles really fast, and eventually over time it'll turn into this other thing. And while it's this other thing, I'm going to go ahead and explain this other thing. I'm saying so many things right now. But this will turn it into some type of orb or something. I forgot the name of it, but I know I put a diamond in here, and then something magic happens. I'm going to keep on doing this, and I'm going to go ahead and turn particles back on so I know that this thing's working. Let me go to video settings, and where's particles? There we go, to go all particles. So this, obviously there's some blood particles coming off this thing, and also there's large amounts of particles coming off me, because my armor gives me infinite amounts of running fastness. So I don't even know how long this takes, but might as well just go ahead and take a sip of this drink I have in my hand right now. Here we go. What is an episode of Tomahawk's videos without having some pink lemonade in there? I don't know what kind of video it would be, but I know it wouldn't be as amazing a video as what you would expect. So anyway, so something that we're going to make with this thing as soon as this fills up and turns it into what it needs to be is we need to make this thing. It's called a deviation. It's called a divination sigil. It's very hard to say. So this thing is made using a weak blood orb, which is what actually I'm being made right now in the thingy, surrounded by glass, and for some reason it's like that. And it's also made by a blank slate, and the blank slate is just by putting stone into this thing right here. Now, the problem is, this thing takes frickin' forever to do its job, so all I need to do is just keep on spamming this thing, and I don't know why it's not turning into a thing. Maybe it takes a minute, maybe it takes 20 minutes. Who knows how long it takes for this thing to turn into a thing. Did it just get smaller in size? I don't even know if it got smaller in size. Point is, I'm going to cut to see when it's done, because really I have no idea when this thing's going to be finished, so we'll be right back. After waiting an absurd amount of time, and by absurd I mean like 2 minutes, this thing has been created. So I'm going to go ahead and right click this blood altar, and we have this thing called the weak blood orb, and this is the part where I start explaining things in a way that you probably understand what I'm doing. So this mod, Blood Magic, it basically allows you to do a bunch of different things with this thing called Life Essence, and Life Essence can be gotten by either hurting yourself and giving out Life Essence to the altar, or other things that can store life points, and you could fill it that way. Otherwise, there's other ways you can do it. You could hurt other mobs near this thing, so like if I were to get like some sheep and move them over here, and hurt them with a special dagger that I haven't made yet. It's called like a sacrificial dagger. It'll add to the amount of life essence that's stored inside of this thing. Now, me being able to know the amount of life essence is actually very important for me to be able to do good stuff with this thing and actually understand the mod. So that's why I have to make this thing called a divination sigil. I'm really bad at spelling these things, but basically what a divination sigil does is it allows you to figure out exactly how much life essence you have stored in a specific thing. So what I need to do right now is I need to make a blank slate, which is just made by doing the exact same thing that I was doing before. Whoops, don't need to do that. I need to put a stone in this thing, and eventually over time, assuming that it has enough blood in there, then it'll be good. And we'll be able to go ahead and, you know, make ourselves the divination sigil. Now you might be wondering, what the heck is this weak blood orb thing that I have in my inventory now? Well, if I go ahead and right click with this thing, it does the same exact thing as the dagger does, the sacrificial knife does, except what it does is it stores, instead of storing the life essence that it took from like hurting me in the blood altar that's over here, it stores it inside this thing. It's called the soul network. And the soul network is this thing that your blood orbs, they can do by they store your life essence, and they can be used to do all sorts of different kinds of things, whether it be different types of sigils that do different things, special armor, being able to summon some weird I don't know, like mobs. There's some weird rituals. There's all types of stuff that you could do with blood magic. Now the stuff that I'm probably going to be focusing on in this episode is probably the sigil type stuff, because that's the stuff I actually understand at least a little bit of. So as I was talking about this thing got completed over here, so I'm going to go ahead and fly back on over here and go down into my place. So usually, you know, taking life from yourself in order to craft these things wouldn't necessarily be the most efficient thing in the world, because you could actually kill yourself if you bring yourself to 0 hearts with the you know, either the blood orb, the blood orb, or the sacrificial knife. So it's not actually a really smart thing to do that. But thankfully, since I have large amounts of gold and I can, you know, make myself these god apples, I can pretty much take life for myself all day and never pretty much die, which is awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and use this divination sigil, and if I right click on this thing, it'll tell me that the current essence in this altar is 3600, and the capacity, it's hard to say, is 10,000. So what I could do right now is I could completely fill this thing up if I want to. By the way, if I go ahead and right click this thing just anywhere, it'll tell me how much I have in my soul network, which is stored inside these blood orbs, and it'll tell me that there is currently 200 in it. And if you notice that I could do that, and it'll go up to 400, and that's how you know each time you hurt yourself you do 200. So if I were to go over here and I were to eat one of these god apples, and I were just to go ahead and take my sacrificial knife and just spam this thing, I will pretty much not die and keep being able to take damage very quickly and fill this thing up really fast. So I came up with this idea by myself, and I'm seeing that it's working quite well, and I'm not murdering myself, which would be very, very bad. Anyway, so when is the absorption? Okay, so I have like 10 more hearts, 10 more seconds of regeneration. I'm pretty sure I could still kill myself like this, but if I gave it a couple of seconds to regenerate hearts, it's still good. But it's still possible for me to die like this. So cool. That one like that, and then if I go ahead and right click on it now, I'm going to assume it's, yeah, it's definitely full now. And so these things, when they're full, they can only hold up a certain amount of, you know, essence inside of them. until you have to upgrade it. And this level 1 altar can pretty much do nothing, to be honest. Like, I could do some small amounts of things with it, but not really too much that I can do with it. Also, I have these things called division sigils. I don't know what they do, but I'm assuming it's blood magic stuff. I can figure this out later, but for now, not now. So, for now, not now. And then, so, what I can do is I can go ahead and go to NEI and then press U on this thing, and I can actually figure out what kind of recipes I can make for it. So right now, I can make a lava crystal, I can make a water sigil, and I can make blood runes, and I could also make Rune of the Orbs. So what I'm going to plan on doing in this episode is I want to make at least a couple of or 1 or 2 sigils. And so I'm going to go ahead and make myself the lava sigil, because those are cool to make, but I cannot make the lava sigil unless I have the level 2 one. I don't think I can anyway. Alchemic chemistry set. Nope, can't make that, can't make that. Okay, so what I need to do in order to make the lava sigil, I'm pretty sure a level 2 sigil, which I need a level 2 blood orb to make. So watch, if I go into here and I type in blood orb, blood. So like there's the second level 2 one is the apprentice blood orb. And in order to do that, you put a emerald in a tier 2 blood altar. And so in order to make a tier 2 blood altar, I need 8 of these special items, and these special items are called runes. And so with these runes, oops, not runes like that, I meant to say rune like that. So there's these runes that you can make, and basically I want to make a blood rune. And in order to make a blood rune, you need 2 blank slates and some stone. So you only get 1 blood rune out of that. So if I do some math, I do 8 times 2, so I need to put 16 of, whoops, I keep accidentally right-clicking that like that. So I'm going to go ahead and put 16 of these in there, and I have to do this one at a time and slowly wait as these things turn into the slates, and then after that I can go one by one and slowly make this thing into a tier 2 altar, and then show you guys some cool stuff that I can make with it like that. So I'm going to go ahead and cut to when this is done, because it's probably going to take me like 15 minutes to go ahead and get through this annoying process of me getting it finally done. But don't worry, it's going to happen. We'll be right back when this thing is completed. You have flashed forward in time where 15 minutes has taken place in my time, where I was watching large amounts of John Green and Hank Green Vlogbrothers videos, and I was making all of these stones into slates and stuff. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go into this crafting table and put the blank slates half on half on both sides, then like do the thing where I go like that in the middle. Whoops, put that in the middle. I don't know why I thought that was the middle or something. Okay, we go like that, and then we turn these things into blood runes, and look at that, we got 8 blood runes. So now all that I need to do is I need to go upstairs. Upstairs? What do you mean upstairs? There's no stairs right there. All I did was fly. Right. So all I do is I just go to take this thing right. Well, why is my inventory all weird? Okay, there we go. So I just break the blocks adjacent. Whoops, I don't know how to do adjacent anymore. Okay, go right here, place that block back down, and we're just going to go around in like a little circle formation thing and break all those blocks. And so all that I need to do now is just put these... I don't know how to... Okay, it's because I'm moving too fast. It's like I'm Sonic right now. Okay, so I'm going like this, like that, like... Oh, where did... What? Okay, one of them disappeared for a second there. Okay, last one's right there, and now it's done. It should be a tier 2 if I right-click on this. Actually, what do? I go into this thing, and I go like that, and it should say... Yes, okay, so like it says alters current status, current tier. I don't know why I said status. It says tier 2. So that's awesome. So all I need to do right now is I go back into the household of houses that I have right now. Yes, that's a thing. Don't question it. So I go in here and wait. Oh, and also notice the fact that the current capacity should go up. My phone is evil, and I hate it sometimes. Okay, so we're going to go back here, and we're going to go ahead and use the divination sigil one more time and see to make sure that the capacity of this thing has gone up, because it's tier 2 now. It should have gone up. At least I think it does. Yeah, current capacity is 10,000. Maybe it doesn't increase the capacity. I'm kind of dumb like that. But I thought that I was incorrect, I guess. And so we go like that, and then just need to make sure that it has the proper amount in there. So we're going to go ahead and do blood rune. So this is the one we're making right now. It needs 5,000 in it right now. How much does it have in there right now? Yes, it has enough to make it. So that's good. And so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and completely fill up this blood orb with all of the LP that I can hold, just so you can see the capacity in my blood network right now. So I'm going to go ahead and eat this god apple and just spam myself with this thing over and over again, hopefully not killing myself on accident. Okay, there we go. Spam myself back up to full hearts. Keep doing this over and over and over again. What is my current thing at? Okay, so it's at 5,000, and if I do it again, obviously it's not going to go any higher, because that's just the limit it has on this thing. Don't question it. It just is, and whatever. So, well, this thing, go ahead. It's going to do its thing where it takes like 5 minutes to completely completely be made, and then it'll make the level 2, which is the apprentice blood orb, and it's a tier 2 thing that allows me to do much more stuff. And then as soon as we get back, we're going to make this thing called the lava sigil, which is right here, and we're going to be doing this afterwards. And I just realized something. I did not need a tier 2 blood orb for this thing. It just turns out I didn't need any blood orb to make this thing. But either way, we're still going to make it, and it's going to be cool. So, and besides, getting myself up to a tier 2 blood rune thing is actually really good anyway, because watch, I could go ahead and just search sigil in any eye. So watch this. So there's some of the cool ones right here. So like there's a water one, there's a lava one, let's see, a void one. Okay, let's see what the void one. So the void one needs level 2, and it needs reinforced slate. So reinforced slate is just you put the blank slate in the regular one. So you just, you know, it needs lots of stone is the point that I'm getting across. So I guess we're gonna make the lava sigil. No, maybe should we make the lava sigil? I don't know. So I'm gonna make the lava sigil, and I'm gonna make the void sigil, and then I'm gonna show what they both do. I'm actually unsure what the void sigil does, but I know that the sigil of oh, it actually tells you what it does. It says better than a Swiffer, but this one says create a bridge. Oh, and then that one needs the magician one, so that's actually a lot harder. Okay, we'll make the void one because I have no idea what that does, and we'll also make the other one. So we'll be right back when this thing's fully created, and then we'll start getting the ingredients and stuff going on so we can make these cool sigils that do cool things. Alright, so we have returned with the apprentice orb. You look at that thing, it looks so cool. And it also stores large amounts of, guess what? More stuff in our soul network. So right now we have a 5,000, and we just go ahead and try to murder ourselves for a couple seconds here. We can now see that we have 6,600, and so I'm going to go ahead and, I'm not really sure what the limit is on this thing, so I might as well just go ahead and try to murder myself until we find out what the limit is. I'm pretty sure it's 25,000, but I'm not entirely sure, so I'm just going to keep on doing this over and over again, hoping to find that special number. Seriously, God apples are like the coolest thing to use right here, and since we're super rich about gold, and it doesn't really matter that we use it because it's not even a waste, because it's just, we have so much gold. It's like a lot. And there's the thing, maybe it's a waste of apples because we don't have lots of apples, but we could probably find a way to get tons of those too, so who even knows. But anyway, so we're going to get lots of these right now, and then we're going to go ahead and see how much we have in our soul network. So it is 25,000, as I expected, in our soul network that we can now store, so that's awesome. We can do lots of cool stuff with that. And now I'm going to go start explaining what we can do with stuff in the soul network. So these sigils, they're not free. They use the soul network in order to be able to use stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and go in here. I'm going to go make the lava sigil right now because that's the first one. But in order to make the lava sigil, we can make the lava crystal. So the lava crystal is as follows. It's pretty simple. I have all the stuff, I think, in order to make that. Hopefully I was able to memorize what was in there. So I think it's like that. And then we go boom, boom, like that. And I think it's 3 like this. And I can't... I seriously just looked at this thing and I have no idea what it is. Okay, so there's a diamond in the bottom. Cool. So you have it like that, and then we're able to make the lava crystals. So that doesn't take any, like, stuff from the soul network to craft. Like, usually, you know, Thaumcraft stuff, you need the wand and stuff. You don't really need to worry about that. So what this cool thing it does is the lava crystal, if I were to go ahead and put it into any furnace, I actually don't have a furnace right now that I can use it on, unless I can find one in here. Let's see. Is there any furnace? There's aqueous accumulators. No, I don't think there's any furnaces in here. Oh, there's one. Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and take this furnace, and I'm going to guess, do I have anything that I could smelt in here? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take this cobblestone. So what I could do is, first thing you need to do when you make any type of sigil type stuff, you notice that it says that, but if I right click it, it assigns it to me. So it says current owner, ThatOneTomahawk. So if I right click on it, it makes me the owner, and it makes me the owner forever, at least I think it does. So if I were to give this to someone else, and they were going to go ahead and put it into their furnace, that would... it would use my soul network whenever it was used. So this thing right here, if I put it into the bottom and I go ahead and activate it, I'm pretty sure I have to right click it to activate it, or maybe I don't, I'm not really sure. But anyway, I put it in there, and then I'm going to go ahead and put the cobblestone in there and see as it starts using that as kind of, you know, power to use the furnace. Now, I don't use this thing because it's really slow. I usually use that thing, but it's just a cool example of something you could do with it. So if I go ahead and use my divination sigil now, let me just go ahead and move that furnace back into a chest right there. Cool. So if I use this, put this furnace, or use the divination sigil, it'll tell me that I currently have 24,975. That's because it just used some of its power to use on the sigil, or it used some of the sigil's power in order to light the furnace. And so every time, I guess it's 25 for each block that it smelts. So that's actually really useful because I could just, you know, it's basically an unlimited source, assuming that I still have enough in my soul network. So that's cool, but that's not what I wanted to use the crystal for. I just wanted to explain what the lava crystal does. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do now is I'm going to go ahead and go back in here, put this in there, and I believe the lava crystal... Okay, so cool. So actually, do I have magma cream on me? Magma cream is always this weird thing that I... Oh, yeah, I have one right there. Cool. So I'm going to put the magma cream in the top, put that in there, and then we go ahead and put ourselves some of that lava bucket on each of the sides. And I don't know if it actually absorbs the lava crystal when making this thing. I hope it doesn't. Yeah, cool, it doesn't. So this lava sigil... it uses my soul network stuff, much like the previous thing does, or much like, what do you call it? Much like the lava crystal does. So if I go ahead and, let me just go ahead and make a little thingy so it doesn't get all over the place. Actually, it doesn't matter. Let me just go and break that. Okay, so if I right-click with this thing, first off, it assigns it to me, makes it my owner. Contact with liquid is highly unrecommended. So I right-click, and it puts down a lava source. So this lava source, it takes 1,000... like life points in order to do this, and for some reason, oh, I was like, why is it not spreading? But there you go, it started spreading. Cool. So I could use that with the lava sigil, and that does that. So I can just put lava sources wherever I want, assuming that I still have some stuff in my soul network, which I could use by adding more to it, by using either of these 2 orbs, which are awesome. And I should probably keep both of these and not just use the higher one, because, you know, some of the recipes need the lower one, and blah 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 blah. It's kind of like the essence thing for the essence crops. So that's done with that. And now the next thing that I want to make is I want to make the void sigil. So the void sigil needs empty buckets, some reinforced slate, and the apprentice orbs. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make all that stuff that is necessary to make this sort of thing, and we'll be back momentarily. Alright, so we made ourselves this reinforced slate by just putting an ordinary slate back in that blood altar of ours. And we're going to go ahead and put it in here and make ourselves the void sigil. Let me just take a look at it one more time. Cool, we're going to put it like that in there. Throw those in there like that. I got some stuff in my throat. It's kind of gross. Sickness, right? Okay, so we got ourselves a void sigil. I have no idea what this does, so I'm going to go ahead and assume... Do we have stuff in our soul network right now? Whoops, actually just hurt myself for a second there. So we have about 24,000. I could just go ahead and bump that up to 25,000 because YOLO. Oh, phone. Every time. Every second of the day. Cool. So we got ourselves like this, and I guess... What does that do? Does that do something? Void sigil. Maybe, what if, can I right-click it? I don't know. Is it doing anything? Are you doing anything? What are you doing? I don't know. I don't know if it, maybe if I throw items on the floor, like, it like, picks up the items? No? I gotta Google this! BRB! Okay, Google later told me that apparently if I go near to some water source or any liquid type source thing, and if I right-click with it, it'll make it disappear. Forever! Why I would want to do this? Who knows? Maybe, like, there's a lava lake or, like, I have a flood in my house and I'm trying to get rid of it. I guess that does something cool like that. But how much, I'm wondering how much does that use? Let me see. Okay, so I have my divination sigil right here. Right now I have 23,900, and if I right-click with that, it uses... Okay, it uses 50 every time, so obviously it's not very desirable because otherwise it would cost a lot more. But anyway, that's the basis of sigils. We'll make a lot more later in the later episodes, and I'll figure out more cool stuff that we could do with the blood magic mod. But I think it's pretty cool so far, especially having all these blood orbs and stuff. And I want to be able to increase the power of the blood orbs, because, like, if you go ahead and look at this thing, look, blood orb. There's, like, what, there's archmages, there's master, there's magicians, and we're at the 2nd out of 5. So we're 2 out of 5. Just with, like, that. So there's obviously a lot more stuff that we can do in this mod. So void thing's pretty cool. But anyway, I'm pretty sure that wraps up blood magic for the day. So we're probably gonna go to the outro now. Alrighty then, guys. Hope you enjoyed this episode of the Cube Evolution. We did some cool blood magic stuff that I'm hoping to get into further detail with in the next episode. Get some more cool stuff. Do some summonings. I don't even know. I gotta research more of this stuff before we get further along. Hopefully you were able to follow along. I know I talk a little bit fast sometimes, but that's just the way I roll, girl. Anyway, hope you guys have a nice day, please. I try.